Hey everyone, it's Gabriel here, and recently I haven't been posting as much, mainly because I'm scaling my business and I started getting stuck with growing my business, and there was a lot of challenges that was new to me that I didn't know how to deal with, and so I was just really stuck and wasn't able to get past that. I didn't have solutions to those many new challenges that I was facing. And then I did this one thing about 2 weeks ago that helped me to get unstuck and see very clearly what I needed to do for my business and gave me a new set of motivation to work on it. So before I dive deeper into this video on this one thing that I'm going to do, please help me to give me a thumbs up for this video, as this will help this channel out greatly. And if you're new to this channel, every week I post videos on my journey of building online businesses and my plan to retire by age 35. I'm 30 this year, so that's 5 more years to go. I don't have any investment costs or any make money online courses to sell you. I'm just simply sharing my journey and adding value to you. The only thing I'm selling is a marketing software for business owners to generate more leads and sales. So if you're not business owners, or if you don't need to generate more leads and sales, you don't even need that. So just hit the like button and enjoy the content. So let's dive back into the video, and I want to share with you a quick story of what happened. So as I was saying, I was dealing with a lot of new challenges, scaling my business, a lot of internal challenges. So I don't want to share those challenges. The main thing was that I was stuck and I was mentally drained every single day. I don't have a solution how to get out of these issues, and I find myself lacking motivation to work when I wake up every single day. Now, thanks to the habits that I've created over the past few years that allow me to work without motivation. So I was still able to work and get things done. But the truth is that I wasn't very happy and I was kind of depressed at times. So what happened was that my amazing wife told me that I need a break. And the truth was that, ever since COVID, that we haven't taken a break. We haven't went any overseas trip for at least the past two over years, right? And someone as an extrovert like me, I needed that. And so she told me to take 5 days off. She went to calendar. She blocked out my time and my date. And we decided eventually we're going to go to Maldives. And, and Maldives was a place where we spent our honeymoon together. So I thought it was an amazing time also for me to get back with my wife and, get to spend some private time with my wife. So get away from our work, away from my daughter, right? Because we haven't had private time since we had our baby. And so we decided to go on a trip. I booked the trip and I went for it. And so there was a lot of things that was in the trip. I want to spare you the details. But what happened was that at the trip itself, it was a 5 days trip. And in Maldives, we pretty much have nothing to do, right? It was just, we booked a water villa and, we're just stuck in the island. And the only thing we could do is really just chill out, right? So I took the time and I was intentional about it. I didn't want to think too much about work, right? Of course, I wrote down a set of challenges that I was facing. And then I didn't want to touch my laptop. I didn't want to work, but I want to intentionally think about these challenges I was facing. The first 1 or 2 days, honestly, I didn't have any solution. In fact, it got me even more worried because I didn't have the solution for the challenges that we were facing. And so somewhere around the middle of the trip, around day 3, I decided to just, I'm just going to spend 1 or 2 days and just not even think about work at all and just take some time for myself. And I remember day 4, we booked ourselves a massage, right? Normally, I don't really like to massage because I don't like people touching me. But I knew my wife, love it. So I booked a couple massage. So we went for the massage. When I lay down onto the bed, I was getting my massage, right? And normally when I am receiving a massage, I would sometimes fall asleep. But because I wasn't really very tired, it was somewhere around the middle of the day. I remember going into a very dreamy state, right? It was a state where I felt like I was going to fall asleep, yet I'm awake. And then what happened was that, I wasn't even thinking about my work, but what happened was that I had 5 ideas, right? Because I was on the bed for like 60 to 90 minutes. So it was really just in a dreamy state. And in that dreamy state, I had 5 great ideas that was running through my head on exactly what I needed to do for my business. And many of this stuff was very visual as well. So like I remember that because one of the challenges we were facing is something to do with scaling our internal team, right? Because the company can only grow as fast as the internal team grow, right? Because we can't take in more sales, we can't do more fulfillment when our internal team cannot handle it. And this was the issue that we were facing. I didn't have a solution for that, right? Like I said. And I remember when I was in this dreamy state, I saw a book, right? The book is called Traction. And it was a book recommended to me many years back by a friend of mine. I didn't read this book because back then I didn't really need this book. But just somehow, right? I wasn't even thinking about it. Somehow this book came to my mind, right? It was like right in front of me and I could see that book. And something inside me was telling me that I need to read this book. So that was just one idea, and there was a couple of other ideas that was awesome as well. So again, to spare you on the details, I have 5 ideas. And finally, when the massage is over, I woke up and I got very excited. I started to take my phone. Of course, we had to wash up and dressed up. And I took my phone and I started writing down all these ideas in case I forget them, right? While we are walking back to this lounge area where we are served some tea, and we can take a short break there. So while we're walking there, I was just typing away all these ideas that I needed to do. And when we actually sat down on the lounge, I got really excited. I started to share with my wife what happened, and this was something very amazing, because this was the first time I actually experienced this in a way that it was so visual to me. So long story short, the next day I picked up the book. We still had one day at a Maldives trip. So I took the time, and with my ability to read a book a day, you can watch that video somewhere. I'll put the link in the description. So I used that same skill set that I've learned how to read a book a day to read the book. Right now, I didn't finish the book because I wanted to take my time with this book, because there was a lot of tools and systems that I could learn. And so I read about half the book within that day, and then started getting down to doing the things that was taught in the book. Long story short, came back and I found the solution that I needed. And right now, I'm working on them. All I know was that when I came back, I had a whole fresh set of motivation. I had a bunch of solutions and ideas that I knew that I need to work on. And right now, I'm back implementing this. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a bit quiet now on social media. Now, my moral story is this. When I was stressed out, right, in my work, every single day I was trying to think about an idea. The idea didn't come. But when I finally took a rest, the idea came. I didn't really understand this. I didn't really know what was going on. I asked one of my coach, I asked around what was going on, and some people tell me different things. But the general idea is that my coach actually told me that when we are stressed out about certain things, right? When you're stuck in your business, when you're stuck in certain things and you do not know what to do, and you're trying to force it, right? You're trying to think about a solution head on. You're using your prefrontal cortex or something like that, right? Basically the front of your head. And what that does is that you are forced to think in a box. And we all know, right? A lot of times the solution that we're looking for is out of the box. And we can't think out of the box when we are using the front of our head, right? So I have another friend that told me that what I was facing, right? That was actually what we call a theater state. And some people get into this state when they meditate, right? Some people get into this state when they are resting, or maybe when they are sleeping and they are nearly, going to fall asleep. Basically in a state of rest. And the science to that is that when you're in a state of rest, you're not using the front of your brain, you're using the back of your brain. Okay. Don't quote me on the science. That was just a bunch of stuff that I read. I was just trying to piece things together of why am I facing this. But the long story short is that through that rest, I was able to come up with ideas and solutions for challenges that I was stuck with. Now, does this work for everyone? I'm not entirely sure. But what I am intending to do right now is that every month, I am now intentionally setting a break, maybe at least a 1 day or 2 day. And what you can do for yourself is you don't necessarily, especially if you're stuck in something, don't try to face that thing head on all the time, right? Especially if you're not getting the results, or you're not getting ideas, you're not getting solutions for it, right? And you're stuck and you're stressed up. I think a lot of times you just need to take a step back and just rest. And it's so effortless, right? Because as you're resting, your brain is still working, and your brain will help you to find this solution for you. And that was what exactly happened to me. So now I'm going to be intentionally taking these breaks, because I have the budget. So every month I'm going to be at least, going for a short 1 or 2 days staycation. If you don't have a huge budget, that's fine. You don't have to go for a Maldives trip. You don't have to go for a staycation. You can just book a small, session alone at, I was just thinking, if I don't have budget, what will I do? And I'll probably go to a co-working space where I can have some time alone, where I just take time off my work and, just meditate. Or I could book a simple massage session, right? Or I could just go to the beach and I can just walk and maybe spend time with my family. And a lot of times when you take your mind off the things that you are focusing on, right? And you're relaxing from it, you're allowing your subconscious, your theater state, or whatever people call it, to work. And many a times, those are where your creative idea comes in. Those are where all the creative solution comes in. And so this is a very important lesson to me, right? So I'm going to be intentionally taking break every single month. And I recommend that, I hope that you have learned something from this simple story itself. I hope that in the future, when you are stuck, when you are stressed up, right, and you do not know what to do anymore, it's very counterintuitive, because sometimes, especially when I was taking a 5-day break, it was so tough, right? Because there were so many things going on. The business was facing these challenges, and I felt that if I was away for 5 days, the business would collapse. And of course, it's always worse than it seems when you live in your head. And so that didn't happen, right? In fact, the 5 days was totally fine. When I checked my message after 5 days, there was actually nothing that went wrong. And so let go, right? If you can't have a business that you can let go, then it's not really a business. You don't own a business, the business owns you. And sometimes if you let go, it's a good time for you to test what's going on, right? Because when you let go, you've implemented a couple of systems. We all want to build a business so that we can be free, right? Not have a business that so that we are a slave to the business. And a lot of times that requires you to set up systems, right? And because you're in the business, you're still there. There's no test for the system, right? The real test only happens when you are away from the business, and then you can see whether your systems are working, right? Are things breaking down? And so I think the metaphor I can give is like, it's like a ship, right? You leave the ship, and then when you come back, you see, where is it leaking, right? Or where's the hole so that you can come in and you can patch it up, or where's the fire so you can go and put out the fire. But a lot of times when you're around, you don't allow the systems to, the flaws of the system to show up, and therefore you do not know what to fix. And if you don't know what to fix, then you do not know, how can you automate the business or systemize the business in a way. So hopefully that makes sense to you. I don't want to ramble on, but the point is, take a break every single month. If you are stuck, take time to meditate, right? And I'm not saying taking a break and then just watch Netflix, right? But really taking the time to do nothing. And when you do nothing, you'll be surprised. You'll come out with amazing creative solutions for things that help you to get unstuck for whatever situation you're in. So that's all I have for you today in this short video. If you have gained some amazing insights and value from this video, please remember to give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel to see more content like this. So that's all I have for you today. Bye for now.